Oh no, the Babysitter Bandit's gonna tie us up and make us watch the crappy little elves! We're doomed! Hi, I'm Torrin, and welcome to Torrin Loves The Simpsons. Today we're looking at the 13th and final episode of the first season, Some Enchanted Evening. An episode where Marge feels unappreciated and complains about it on the radio, leading Homer to take her out for a night on the town, and the babysitter turns out to be a criminal and the kids fight back. Let's dive in. So I mentioned last week that this episode was both the first and last episode of Season 1. If you've seen my Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire review, you already know where I'm going with this. Due to animation issues, the first season of The Simpsons aired significantly out of order, resulting in Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, the 8th episode to enter the production process based on production code, airing first, and this episode, the first to enter production, airing last. Being the first to enter production, this episode is the first one animated, and thus the first one pre-screened by the show's producers. Have a listen to the DVD commentary for this episode if you haven't already, because the story is great, but to summarize, upon viewing what the episode originally looked like, James L. Brooks commented, "This is shit." And one of the head animators replied, "What do you mean, shit?" And Brooks explained, "A foul substance which causes disease." Ouch. So as Matt Groening put it, this episode almost killed the series when the producers originally saw it. So it went back to the animators for a major redo, and most of the final episode's animation is from the redo. You can find the original animation on YouTube, and I definitely recommend giving it a watch, if only to understand the history. The original cut is truly atrocious. But now for the analysis, and as always, let's start with the humor. And let me come on in here with an observation I totally haven't already made about several other Season 1 episodes so far. The humor in this episode is pretty sparse. It's mostly pretty good when we have it. I particularly like the Simpson joke, and the Babysitter Bandit's shell-shocked state from being subjected to the crappy little elves. We also get a nice punchline to the episode when Marge remarks that if Homer raised 3 children who can knock out and hogtie a perfect stranger, he must be doing something right. It's most certainly not an admiration we'd expect Marge to express, and we'll talk more about Marge's characterization in a little bit. But hey, when the humor is this sparse, I'll take what I can get. But with humor being that sparse, and having so few saving graces to stand on, the best I can give this episode's humor is a C+. So what are we looking at with the plot on this episode? Well, a lot of the episode feels super old-school cartoony, especially the breakfast and Marvin Monroe scenes at the beginning. And that doesn't vibe super well with the show. Like, that was a big part of the debacle that almost killed the show, and the final version of the episode is a big improvement, but it's still an odd vibe. Stuff like rubbery door slams and big cartoony screaming and running and facial expressions just feels so off. Like, look at these frames from when Lisa and Maggie zoom off to follow the babysitter to the TV. What the fuck is that? It's definitely not The Simpsons, that's for sure. And of course, there's the famous scene immediately after when the babysitter intimidates Bart and has extremely smooth animation in the process, followed by more hot trash cartoony shit as Bart backs up to the VCR and puts the tape in. The incredibly smooth animation does look nice, and it really conveys her facial expressions well, but that also makes the rest of the episode look even worse in comparison than it already looks. And the rest of the episode really didn't need any help in looking sloppy. As a drummer myself, I'm appalled at the drummer in the Homer Marge dancing scene. Just, no, that's not what a drummer and drum set look like. But okay, enough about the animation. We have some kinda off-characterization of Marge here, because I'd never expect her to want anything to do with a radio station like KBBL, let alone actually call into one. And her taking out her marital frustrations on the kids here is just not Marge. Lisa also feels a little weird, less intelligent and situationally aware than usual. Like, here she is getting dragged by the phone cord and she doesn't realize she's in the process of getting caught by the babysitter. Homer is as much of a moving target as he is in the rest of Season 1. There are certainly aspects of him that they got right and aspects that won't be nailed down until Season 2. Bart, on the other hand, is portrayed really well in this episode. I particularly enjoy the moment where he fails to bowling ball the babysitter, and after he fails, he tries to talk his way out of it on the technicality that nobody got hurt. That definitely feels like our Bart. But to top it all off, we get some excellent Maggie material in this episode. They nailed her characterization right away, and she is just fantastic in this episode. I have mentioned before that Maggie is quite probably my favorite character on the show, And this kind of material is why. I love seeing her do extraordinary things and demonstrate her awareness and comprehension, like how she can understand when Lisa instructs her to untie Lisa and Bart, and how she can deliberately lure the babysitter into Bart and Lisa's trap. This Maggie is the best kind of Maggie, and I love that it's present in the very first episode. And the way Maggie keeps her cool when Marge roars at the kids is just adorable. As for the actual storytelling, it's pretty decent. There's a good sense of escalation here, with unspecified but potentially dire stakes to the plot. Like, the show certainly would never depict the babysitter seriously hurting the kids or anything, but that kind of thing is kinda implied as a possibility. Even if a significant portion of the characterization feels off, they used the characters pretty well to advance and support the storyline they were working with. Of course, with this being the first episode under production, it's gonna be a bit off, and the producers fought an uphill battle to get it into a state that they could stand to release. I'll give the episode an A for effort due to that, but I can't find it in me to give it an A for plot because there's just not enough going for it. Yeah, I love the Maggie stuff, and there's a satisfying sense of escalation and climax in Act 3, but there are some corny, cartoony moments that I find awkward and hard to ignore, and the rest of the episode is kinda unremarkable. Good, but not great. I'll give this plot a B+. And now for the final rating. We have a C+ for humor and a B+ for plot, and overall I'm leaning more towards B- territory rather than solid B. It overall really doesn't hit that hard. It just barely avoids boring territory, and therefore barely avoids C tier. Because this episode really isn't boring, but it doesn't have a whole lot going for it. But even if the episode isn't that great of a watch, it's an important part of the show's history. I really do recommend checking out the DVD commentary and the original cut of the episode that so infuriated Jim Brooks. If nothing else, it's interesting to see how big of a difference in quality it is. I really truly can't imagine the show with the animation style of the original cut. I think the producers were right that if that were their final product, there would be no show, no dental plan or Lisa Needs Braces, no monorail, no Mr. Bergstrom, no Chimpan A to Chimpanzee, none of the many other classic moments of the show this would become. I don't want to think about what the world would have looked like without those moments. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell. Next week, I am doing a recap of the season before I move on to Season 2, so I will see you in that video.